The number one role of your CV is not to showcase your skills and experience. Okay, I'll say that again because it's quite important. The primary aim, the number one aim of your CV is not to document and showcase your skills, experience, your client list, and your whole work history. That is not the primary aim of your CV. The primary aim of your CV is to get you an interview, to land you an interview. And you've just got to remember that. So why is this a problem? This can be a problem because some people just document their whole work history on their CV and don't think about how it's being received, how the reader is going to interpret that. So you've got to craft your CV from the point of view of the people looking at it. So the reader, that could be the recruiter, or if they put your CV forward for a role, the hiring manager. So that's a different thing. So the reason you want to do this is because if you just list all your career history, then the wrong recruiter looking at that is not going to take that information on board and absorb it and recognize your true value and worth. They may just discard it. They may just push you aside. So that's the reason you've got to make it really tuned in, appeal to the masses, but stand out from the crowd. So it's a subtle thing, and I know CVs are very subjective, which is why I always say try and get your information from one source, someone you know, like, and trust. It doesn't have to be me, it could be someone else. What I would recommend though is you just be careful where you do get that advice from, because I hear lots of people, they've been made redundant, they've been offered CV advice services from someone within the organization or a company that the company they're leaving is affiliated to. It's part of their leaving program. That's fine because they're in the industry. But just think that they're not in our industry necessarily. They're in a generic industry, and they may never have applied for roles in their life. They're doing this from a professional services point of view. Someone else the other week said they were going to get some advice from the guy at the job centre. Now that's fine. I don't know how good or how bad that person is. But again, are they in your industry? And do they have experience of reviewing thousands of CVs? And have they actually applied for roles and put their money where their mouth is and done this themselves? So just be careful where you get your advice from. So of course, if you want some help with your CV, then I'm sure you're aware I've got my free CV check. You could do my free CV check. If you've done that in the past, you can send it back to me for a free recheck. Similarly, if you've used any of my other services, so CV Express, CV Booster, if you've done those in the past, you can send your CV back to me again if you're looking for a new role now. Maybe you did it like 4 years ago. So send it back to me, do a recheck. If it needs a bit more work, then there's always the option you could do another CV Express review, for example. So that is an option. So if you're interested in any of those things, just drop me an email with your CV. Let me know if you had the free CV check, the CV Express, or the CV Booster in the past, and I will help you further. Okay, I wish you a fantastic day. All the best.